And NASA, Artemis 2, the mission set to come to an end tomorrow. 4 astronauts inside that Orion space capsule splashing down in the Pacific Ocean. And then they'll be floating there for a while, waiting.
That's because NASA says the 4-member crew will remain inside the capsule for up to 2 hours before they're allowed to exit. Not to worry, the Orion spacecraft is designed to stay afloat for at least 24 hours, and there will be flotation devices around the craft to help minimize wave movement. That's important as no one wants to be seasick after a space flight. While waiting, engineers will collect data and ensure the spacecraft is secure before moving the crew from the craft to the waiting Navy ship. I'm Bree Tennis.
The Sergio Show on Newstalk 710 KURV, program known for this evening, 4 to 6 p.m. The Drive Home with Zach Cantu and producer Joe Salinas. I'll be joining him. This evening, we'll be at the ACE building in Edinburgh. It's the first State of the City address by Mayor Ochoa. And we'll be there 4 to 6 with the Drive Home and talking with folks. For example, ERO Architects, Brian Godinez, doing reviews of major projects recently, near future, in the Edinburgh area and other areas of South Texas growing very fast. The gang from Kappa, the concrete and asphalt and pipe and aggregates folks, the go-to people for foundations. Yeah. An economic report, their economists joining us with an Edinburgh-centric look at all the metrics, all the economic numbers. Well, yeah, we'll be talking a lot about the economy, nerd stuff tonight, 4 to 6, the Drive Home from, it's a 2-hour lead-in program. We call them ambassador broadcasts, right before the State of the City in Edinburgh. And time is 9:45, and let's go. Speaking of Edinburgh CISD, and we welcome back to the program Dr. Tony Anthony Garza. Tony, I understand you got a champ with you, so introduce your champ, Tony.
Good morning, Sergio. Thanks for having me. It's been a while that I've been on the show. We've got members from Edinburgh North here. We got our head powerlifting coach, Coach Vela, and we got our 165-pound division state champion, Orlando Torres, 11th grade Edinburgh North, representing the mighty Cougars from North Dakota.
Excellent. Congratulations, Orlando. Son, how long you been doing this powerlifting sport?
I've been powerlifting since freshman year, but I've been lifting since about 8th grade year.
Okay. What got you interested in this? I'm just curious.
I had a friend who had joined powerlifting originally, and she sort of convinced me to take the class freshman year. And from then,
it was a girl.
Yeah. From then, I just fell in love with the sport.
All right. Be honest with me, son. Did you fall in love with her first? I said, I'm going to try.
It was because of her.
I just want to be a friend. Okay, well, that's a different story. But got you into power weightlifting. How often do you exercise, practice? Is it like a daily thing for you, or how does that work for power?
Yeah, so I work out with my coach every day during school, and then after school, I work out 5 times a week, Monday through Friday.
When you started, by the way, my guests right now from Edinburgh CISD, our weekly conversation with Edinburgh schools, Dr. Anthony Garza, bringing another state champ from Edinburgh North High School, powerlifting state champ, Orlando Torres. He's a junior. It says here, 165-pound division. That would be your weight. Like you have to be 165 or lighter, right?
That's the weight class, yeah.
Yeah. So you powerlift how much?
I have a total of 1440 across all 3 lifts combined.
Okay. Describe this for me. How does that work? You said 1440.
Yeah. So the way it works is that there's squat, bench, and deadlift, and they take the highest lift from each lift, and then they combine it together. Okay. And that's like how they decide the winner and everything.
How many of you can you squat? You being at 165. You being at 165. How many? What is your number?
I believe like about 3 to 4 times my weight.
Es una hormiga. It's an ant. Carries so much more. You said benching too, right? You also.
Yeah. It's squat, bench, and deadlift.
Okay. Bench. How many of you do bench?
I bench 365 raw, which I think is a little over 2 times body weight.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And the other one you said, what was it? The other one?
Squat and deadlift.
Deadlift.
Yeah.
Deadlift. What is it? I'm sorry. This deadlift. Describe that for me. I don't recall what deadlift is.
You just, I guess, pick it off the ground in like the most simple sense.
Oh my! So that's when all the steel circles are there, right? Like real heavy.
Yeah.
You just need to get it off the ground.
You need to, lock it out. Like.
Coach Vela, Man, that's that. When I see video of that looks scary, Coach. That's real dangerous. I would imagine. Real. You got
Yes,
to. Yeah.
yes. They use the belt, so that helps them. The belt so that helps, and they do. He picks up about 585 pounds on that. So,
But you know what they say when you work at a warehouse, like put the belt on and lift with your legs, right? That's a
and that's pretty much what they do.
right indication of leg strength. Well, when you started, by the way, state champ in the 165-pound division from Edinburgh North High School, powerlifting state champ Orlando Torres. When you started, son, you said back in the 8th grade, how much were you able to, let's say, bench back then?
I think my max was a plate, so 135.
Which is muscle menos was close to your weight back then.
Yeah, it was around my weight.
What do you eat? What are you told to eat? Yeah.
I was trying to get my protein and my carbs in.
Okay. What is protein in which form? What do you eat? Like powder or like
no,
chicken?
No, like meat, like chicken, steak.
Real clean.
Yeah, real clean.
Yeah, let me go back to the coach then. That's one of the things that you help manage for.
Yeah, we weigh them in during the class. We have a scale there. We get it calibrated, and the kids weigh in pretty much daily, see what weight class they're in, because we have to stay at weight. So, right before the meet, it's very, very tedious. Like they don't drink water, you can't eat breakfast, and sometimes they're all day without eating until they weigh in.
Yeah.
And after they weigh in, we hydrate them right away. Hydrate them, and just like boxing, similar to boxing.
Why keep an empty belly, Coach? Why?
Well, they have to weigh in. They have to weigh in. So
just because of that, that's the only reason.
So we have to be as close as to 165. We don't want to weigh in at 150 because we're too light and we lose a lot of strength. So you want to be as close as you can to 160. Once we get weighed in, we can eat and be 170. We just have to get weighed in at 165.
That is crazy.
So there's a strategy. There's strategy involved.
I never considered that. I thought it was because you'd cramp up or something like that during the competition. To obsess and try to keep the weight within what, 2, 3, 5 pounds?
Maybe 2 to 3 pounds, and then we rehydrate right away to stay at your strength. Because if we lose too much weight and they don't hydrate enough, they'll just be weaker, and they were not able to lift that day.
Coach Vela, what's your first name, brother? I should have written.
My name's Joe Vela.
That's right. I remember that from lunch. Sorry about that, Joe. Because last week I called him Coach Joe. I remember that. Son, when you won the state championship, what was that like? Like, set the scene for me, and then the announcement. And did you know you won? And like, what? Tell me what that was like when you won the state championship.
So I had an opponent who was very close to me, and the whole meet was just a mental battle between us. And it came down to the final lift, and I remember I pulled my last lift, and I was like, oh crap, I won. And I just had like a wave of, I guess, joy, and I guess, just joy. I was ecstatic.
That is awesome. Where was the competitor from? Where was he from?
He was from Burleson.
That's Dallas area, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
Burleson. Was he Russian? I don't know. For some reason, I think he was Russian powerlifters. Yeah, that is the voice of Orlando Torres. So you want to go through college with this? Maybe get a scholarship?
Yeah, hopefully that's a dream.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Okay. Yeah. Coach Joe Vela, this is an Olympic event.
Yeah, you can compete. You can keep competing in college and go to Olympics. Hopefully, some of these kids an opportunity to go to college first step, and then go from there. I know Orlando's is really into the sport. He keeps up with what's trending throughout the United States with powerlifting. So he's one of the special ones. So he's out there, investigates himself, and he's a real scholar of the powerlifting. So he does a good job about that.
Just curious, Orlando, were there like scouts at the state competition saying, son, you should consider coming to, I don't know, Syracuse or something like that, some of the big colleges that are.
Yeah, I talked to a few people. I remember from UTSA and Midland specifically. I know they're really big on powerlifting. I've talked to the recruiters.
Yeah. What do you want to study when you go to college?
Engineering.
Nice. Yeah. Be able to lift buildings. Put them on your shoulder, carrying them around. Well, my guest right now from Edinburgh CISD, our weekly conversation with Edinburgh CISD. I took the entire time last week. I know Lisa and the gang, they gave me other stuff to talk about, but I was just so fascinated. But I want to give time to Dr. Anthony Garza, our Executive Director of Support Services at the school system. Bring for me a couple of items. I'm going to run out of time, Tony. A couple of items you want to emphasize right now from the school
Well,
district perspective.
since we got the Edinburgh North folks here, a big item is this Monday we have a drainage project ribbon cutting ceremony. We're going to have it right after school around 5:30 to 6 p.m. We'll be out there. And this is a big project worth approximately $2 million that we put together. Edinburgh North been around over 30 years. And anytime it rains, they're like a pond out there. Kids are in a foot of water, getting into the bus, getting in their parents' car. It's been really bad. But they built a giant detention pond in the back and a whole bunch of infrastructure work around the campus. And this past weekend, we had 3 inches of rain, Sergio, and it drained beautifully out there. So
Nice.
it was a project that was done in collaboration with Precinct 4, Eli Torres, instrumental, and Raul Cecin from Drainage District Number 1. So as a team effort, we were able, and the city of Edinburgh as well, Mayor Cho and the gang pitched in too. So we were able to get this project done, and now the kids can get in their cars and buses after school on a rainy day, and the water's draining the way it's supposed to. So.
You're telling me all this in an area where right next door are the 710 KURV towers. That's where we broadcast from, Edinburgh North, right next door. Our old building is right next door. And I'm remembering, I don't remember, it was a hurricane, Freddie. And I went with our engineer out there, and we were sloshing through the water to try to reach our tower in the middle of the night to try to put some backup in the middle of the hurricane. And it was like darkness. But I did see through a little bit of light that was nearby a floating carpet of something. As I got closer, eran puras hormigas. A bunch of red ants are floating. We kind of walked around. So it's nice to hear that we finally have a flood mitigation system. It's a retainer pond, you said, right? One of those big holes.
Yes.
With the water.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
we're ready for a data center or a chip factory right next door. What do you say, Tony? I mean, they can use that water to cool off the systems. If they want.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, what else you got on the school list right now?
We've got pre-registration going on. And, we ask all our kids, parents to pre-register their kids for next year. But we're also giving a big shout out to the pre-K 3 program. So anyone that's got a 3-year-old turning 3 before September 1st, go visit the school so we can get you on a roster and get them ready to go for next year.
Yeah. Edinburgh CISD is open enrollment, people. From, the babies, the 3-year-olds, the 4-year-olds that are learning all day long at school. They don't take a nap midday. They're learning all day long and during the workday, which is awesome. They can drop them off at any elementary schools in the area for the pre-K and pre-K 4 programs as well at Edinburgh CISD. Let me go back to our state champ. I'm hoping maybe I can see a few more. Coach Joe, you got any more state champs you want to feature over the next several days? Good.
No, I think this is my last one. We had a girl win state, and we had Orlando here win state. Hopefully, they're all returning. And I hopefully get a few more next year. We have a lot of kids in the program, so hopefully we get some more next year.
Yeah, actually, interesting that you mentioned it. Hopefully, where would you go, son? Orlando, where would you go if you don't come back? I mean, that's all. Well, you're
Orlando will be back, but we're just hopefully, injuries happen, and
I see.
Things. Just when you're lifting that much weight, you never know. So day by day.
My goodness, that is so impressive. Any shout out you want for any of the Huerquillos, the kids that you're coaching, Joe?
Like I said, we have about 85 kids in the program, so it's a big number. So some kids start as freshmen; they're beginners, and we have a good team coming back. I'm talking girls team and a lot of young kids coming in the boys. We had a lot of guys graduate this year from powerlifting boys. But we have a lot of kids returning. Really, really, really good kids next year. And hopefully we're trying to recruit. I'll be going to the middle schools coming up and trying to pick up some freshmen for next year's class. So it's a building process. So Orlando's going to be one of our seniors next year. So he's going to be one of our leaders next year. So it's going to be looking good.
Is there a specific body type when you say recruitment? Stature?
What I'm saying recruiting is we go visit the middle schools and down the hallways. I mean, I see a girl walking down the hallway. She looks like she could be a good powerlifter. I asked her.
What would that be like? What are we looking at?
Well, I try to pick up cheerleaders. You'd be surprised. They're already they're explosive already. That's easier. They're already strong, naturally strong. They've been jumping all their lives, so it's easy to. They already have some type of strength already. And there's also different weight classes. So the girls start at 97 pounds. So I look for a 97-pound girl that can fit that, and I look for a 200-pound girl that can fit that. So there's different weight classes, so it's different qualifications for each one.
Yeah, the state champs that we talked to last.
Yeah.
There was one that was one real chiquita. What was
Yeah,
her weight?
123. Yes, Valentina. She's a 123, and then you see Edinburgh's girl was 242. So you see two different weight classes. So you try to get all the weight classes. You can get up to 12 girls to compete at one time, and they're all so many different weight classes.
Yeah, fascinating. For parents interested in getting their children involved in either could be powerlifting or any of the big menu of different sports available at Edinburgh CISD, all the after school programs that are many times either from accounting to power weightlifting to track. We got state champs as well all over Edinburgh CISD. For your specific sports, what do you recommend parents do?
No, parents can call the school, and then they'll just recommend them, send them to the athletic office, and then they'll get in contact with me. Like I said, they can email me at the school and stuff like that. But just contacting the athletic office, and that's all you need to talk to your counselors. The counselors, they can register at the powerlifting class, and they just pretty much register for the class like any other class, like your math class or band class or anything else.
All right, because it's never too late to start, right?
No, never too late.
Yeah, there we go. Guys, thank you. Tony, bless you, brother. We'll see you soon. Dr. Anthony Garza, Executive Director, Support Services, Edinburgh CISD. Thank you to Coach Joe Vela. Congratulations. And wonderful to see Orlando Torres, state champ from Edinburgh North.
I'm gonna have to wait. I'm gonna make you go to the water. You want to make